basing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Panchadashaha Adhyayaha, 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It is called as Purushottama Yoga. Purushottama Yoga means supreme yoga. Purushottama Yoga. Yoga of the supreme reality. The most wonderful chapter, Shri Krishna himself speaks, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. And what he talks about, the summary of these verses, if you were not here last night, you were not listening in last night, the Lord is describing this world as a tree, a huge peepal tree, and he calls it as Ashwatha. Ashwatha. And it's Avyaya also. It is imperishable. It means, Ashwatha means it is not there tomorrow. Not there tomorrow means what? It means everything is changing in this world. Huh? So today your health is there and tomorrow it is. Today your happiness is there, tomorrow not there. Today your youth is there, tomorrow your youthfulness is there, tomorrow gone. Your strength is there today, tomorrow gone. Your memory is there today, tomorrow nothing stays. That is the meaning of Ashwatha. It doesn't stay. It keeps going away. And at the same time, the world doesn't go away. Oh, look at this thing. It goes away and doesn't go away. Well, let me explain what that means. Everything in front of us is going away. But this process is never going away. You understand that thing? This process of everything going away means your health, your strength, your wealth, your everything. Youthfulness, everything is eyesight, memory. After a little while you need glasses. One fellow went to the doctor and he told him, I need some glasses, I think my eyes have gone really bad. The doctor said, I knew that the moment I saw you coming through the window. So the eyesight is there today and gone tomorrow. Here today, gone tomorrow. One little girl asking his grandfather, Grandpa, you're getting taller or what? Grandpa, you're getting taller or what? Grandpa said, no, why? Why are you asking that? He said, because I just saw your head protruding through your hair. You're getting taller. Today the hair is there, tomorrow gone. So he describes this world as this peepal tree for one first reason is this world and its afflictions and its bondages and its entanglements, ropes of attachments and all such things never go away. Right? That never goes away. In childhood we are bound. In childhood we are attached to some little toy. Later on all we just do is change the toy. But the attachment is the same. We attach to some different things. We throw away the toy and attach to some other thing. You see? So the entanglements of the world never go away. And the things which we do not want to go away, nobody wants their sight to go away. Nobody wants their memory to go away. But they go. So, it is described as an Ashwatha tree. That Ashwatha word carries this dual meaning. What is that? It means it is changing all the time. Things going away. It is not there tomorrow. But at the same time, the peepal tree never dies. Have you seen a peepal tree die? Oh, you cut it down and tomorrow again it. That fellow sends out some seeds and falls in your guttering on top there and it grows. So the entanglements of this world, it never dies. It means the world process and our bondage to the world, that never goes away. But he says this world which we see in front of us, which is like a tree, are just the branches, and it has its roots in something higher. This universe has its roots in something higher. Therefore, the roots are up. Urdhva moolam. Up doesn't mean, it means figuratively up, not physically up. In something higher, something beyond the senses, beyond the mind. And he says, even in the world in which we live, which is not the up, it is this world itself, there are branches that go up and branches that go down. There's a hierarchy here in this world. Hierarchy of what? Hierarchy of materialism and spirituality. Here itself, in the same world in which we are living. It means you can engage in, simply put, you can engage in satsang or you can engage in kusang. Those who engage in satsang, they are right here, high up in the hierarchy, because they have engaged in something that will take them to the thing which is beyond, to the root of the universe. Those who engage in satsang, they will be led to the root of the universe, the root of this world and the world process. And those who engage in kusang, remember what Bhagavan is describing in Bhagavad Gita here? That here is this world with all its bondages and attachments and entanglements and all snares. And we are all bound in it. And beyond this world, beyond the senses and the mind, there is the root of the universe, the thing from which everything springs. And if you look at this world itself, here, there is a hierarchy here itself. Within this world, there is satsang and there is kusang. Tulsidas describes that vidya maya and avidya maya. Avidya maya is which takes us into bondage, and vidya maya is that which takes us out of bondage and into reality. In Aranyakand. And for that, means to make sure that we do not get entangled in avidya maya, maya of ignorance. To make sure that we have to find ourselves in satsang. And Tulsidaji writes in that verse, what? You take two parrots and you put one parrot in the house of a good man and one parrot in the house of an evil man. And after a little while you come back. The parrot in the house of the good man will say Ram, 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 Sita Ram. Hari Om, Tat Sat. And the parrot in the house of the other man, Dehi Gani Gari. Dehi Gani Gari means he will give you some good curse. So that one is called Kusang. And the first one is called as Satsang. So here there is a hierarchy in this world itself. So it says in the second verse there, Adhaschorthvam prasritaha tasya shakhaha. Adha means down, and cha urdhvam, up and down. The branches of this world itself spread. Meaning to say in this world itself there is good and evil. Then, in the third verse, he tells that nobody ever really think about the world like that, Look here. When you're eating some nice laddu, barfi, pera, jalebi and all, that's when you're thinking of good and evil, you're thinking of enjoying only. Nobody's thinking of good and evil and all that. We're only thinking about enjoying, isn't it? So the most of humanity, what happens is, come into this world and only think about enjoying, getting, acquiring, hoarding, aggrandizing, and looting, pillaging, plundering. That's what human beings only think about that. Anything higher, anything more sublime, more subtle. You tell the person, look here, there is something which is the very root and foundation of the universe. Something which is untouched by all the vagaries of worldly materialistic existence. Something which is the foundation of the whole universe. Something knowing which we come to know all things. Something acquiring which we get all bliss, all joy, all happiness. A place reaching where? Yad gatva nanivartante, he will tell just now. There is no return to this world of death and this mrityu samsara, he calls it. Dukkhayo naya evate, this world filled with sorrow. You tell any person this, He'll say, okay, all that is alright now. But chalo, let us go to Shagarama. There's a nice boardwalk there. We'll take a walk. Because that is some sort of enjoyment, some sort of pastime, some sort of, anything sublime and all you tell them. But you tell anything gross like that. And the things that are sinful, please pay attention to this. The things that are sinful, materialistic, entangling, the things that are not good for us, the more people patronize those things than the things that are. That is why I keep telling people everywhere, please do not use crowd as a measure of anything in this world. If you use crowd as a measure of anything in this world, you're right down the wrong road already. Because in the chutney show, the crowd is big, Crowd and numbers and democracy, they are the worst guide to judge anything in this world. See, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, such a great Mahatma. How many disciples he had around him? A big crowd. Shankaracharya, 10. 10 disciples. Or 12. Like that. No crowd. What is advised in the scriptures is seek out that thing which is the most sublime. And how many people seek it out? In 7th chapter he says, now see how many people will seek it out really. Manushyanam sahasreshu.
Manushyanam sahasreshu. Kaschit yatyatapi siddhaye. Yatatanapi siddhanam. Kaschit nam vedi tattvataha. Kaschit mam vedi tattvataha.
Among thousands of men, thousands of human beings, one will seek. So if you have 1,000, and one from among 1,000, that means 1,000 people only will seek from a million. 1,000 will seek. But it goes further than that. Yatatamapi siddhanam kaschin mam veti. From among the 1,000 that seek, from among the 1,000 that turn their mind towards something subtler, turn their mind towards the reality. Kaschin mam veti tattvataha. One will really persevere and be determined and stick to that path and reach me. What happened to the rest? Well, somewhere along the way they drop out and gone to buy Baigani. Or gone to, somewhere. So, one rare soul will really stick to it, even though it means to say, even though you're coming to satsang, you're going to yajnas, doing all of this thing, but doing all that also, one person will really take up that thing seriously. And I don't want anything else in this materialistic world, in this world of bondage, in this samsara of death and disease, decadence, debilitations. I don't want it. I want that reality. One will take that resolve. That's what one means. So, nobody really comes to see the world as he is describing. A world where there is something higher than this world, first of all, and in the world itself, there is a hierarchy of good and evil, a hierarchy of satsang and kusang, a hierarchy of the there's a wonderful song. Do rang duniya mein aur do raaste. Have you heard this song? Do rang duniya mein aur do raaste. In the world there are two roads. Do raaste. One takes you to Madhushala, and one takes you to Yajna Shala. It's amazing how both of them have Shala. They call Yajna Shala, whatever you see here. And Madhushala, the good old Trinidad name for it, man. What is that? Rum shop. There also there's philosophy. You get good philosophy there, especially when they take a few. They give you whole Ramayana and everything. But the first song they sing in Pinjire ke Panchi. And they give you all the philosophy. So, one of the road leads there, and one of the road leads to Yajna Shala. They're called Madhushala, they're called Yajna Shala. So, we have to be very, very, very particular about which road we choose. And once you choose the road, stay on the road. There is a rare person, Narupamasya, Asya Iha, Tatha Upalabhyate. Nobody understands the world. How we understand the world? We understand the world in a very simplistic way. What is that? Like a dog sees bone, and what he does? When a dog sees bone, what he does? When the dog sees eggs on the neighbor's side, or bones on the neighbor's side, what he does? The dog doesn't think, okay, there's a fence there, you know. There's a fence there. And that is the neighbor's property. And the neighbor is supposed to enjoy his property, and I'm supposed to enjoy my property. Because our right to enjoyment is guaranteed by Constitution. The dog doesn't think, I live in civil society that is governed by the rule of law. And the rule of law dictates that I am supposed to allow the other person to enjoy his property because it is enshrined in the Constitution and guaranteed thereby. And if I transgress any of the laws enshrined in this Constitution, then I am liable to prosecution. Do you think the dog thinks like that? What is the rule of the dog? You see bone and you eat. Now the human being who comes into the world and sees all of the nice flashy things in the world and doesn't think about anything deeper and just runs after all the nice flashy things in the world. Now what is the difference? You see, the dog is incapable of thinking of anything of thinking anything deeper. It is an incapacity. He is incapacitated by nature. The human being who is endowed with an intellect, the human being who is blessed and has the privilege of an intellect, blessed with and has the privilege of an intellect, he doesn't utilize it to think that there is something more sublime in the world. And that sublime thing is the root of the universe. That is what Bhagavan is meaning here. Huh? So therefore, we don't see the world as this. We see it like the dog. Is there? Go on. Take and what happens? Bhartrihari says in his Vairagya Shatakam at one place, you know, that really, in the final analysis, when you really add up all the things, we really do not enjoy this world. This world enjoys us. Sahi ki nahi? Correct or not? This world enjoys us. Because look, let me tell you something. You come here and you work hard. And you work and work and work. And you embellish the world. I mean, that this land that was not developed, you develop it. There it was vacant, you put a nice structures. There was no lawn there, you plant nice lawn. There was no road there, you build a road. And you put box drain and you do so many things. And you beautify the world. And in that whole bargain, what you do? You give your life. And in the end, after doing all that to this world, you plant nice flower garden, fountains and everything. Then what happened? Creek. So you enjoyed the world or the world enjoyed you? Huh? The world used all your pran that this body came with. The world used your pran, and the world became beautiful and became more expensive, because when you add value to land, the price of the land goes up. So the world used you to increase its value and all that, and then you Ram Naam Satya hai. Adios. Hasta la vista. So he says we really don't enjoy this world. The world enjoys. सही बात है, सही कहते हैं. He tells the truth only. So we really don't. So what Bhagavan is, and actually this is not only in the 15th chapter. This started way down in the 2nd chapter. What the Lord is telling, my dear Arjuna, socho jara, think. You come and just run, just like the donkey sees grass and he eats. Doesn't think whose grass it is. So think. Again, all the way here down here is going again. Think. Nanto nacha nantaha nacha adihi nacha prasishthaha. We don't understand. We don't take time to understand the origin of the world, the end of the world, or how the world is sustained in the interim. Nobody spends time to. In fact, we are very much taken up by all the petty little things, all the trivial, paltry, ephemeral, passing, fleeting things. We are taken up with that, and they're so dear to us. Oh, so dear. Shankaracharya in his Bhaja Govindam describes this again and again, how all the little things in the world are so dear to us. He said that the person comes and he's taken up at one stage in his life with something, another stage in his life with another thing, and a third stage in his life with another thing, and nobody is taken up with God. So we don't study Lord and His world and how it came into being, how it is sustained, and how it dissolves. Ashvatthamenam suvirudhamula. And what we do, we come and we get attached to it. It means we get so entrenched in the world process, we become so plant ourselves so firmly in this world process, and then become birth after birth, birth after birth, for another round of blows. When we come here, what we get? Only blows. I told you that nice story now, and let me tell you again. One fellow was passing in front of a shop, and he saw a nice sign there. It said, "We'll give you a fantastic holiday trip for $100. He said, "Really?" He went inside and he asked that man, "You will give a holiday trip for $100? The man said, "Yes." This fellow took out his $100 and he paid. The man bent down under the counter and he took out a baseball bat and he hit this fellow one baseball bat on his head, and he fell unconscious. And while he was falling, that man pressed a button and a trap door opened, and that man fell through the trap door, went down a chute and came out at the back of the building. And at the back of the building there was a river flowing, and he started floating down the river unconscious. About 20 minutes after he came to, he became conscious. And he looked around and he realized he's floating down a river. So he said, "Oh my God, what kind of trip is this? This is a holiday trip? What kind of holiday trip is this?" And he looked behind. He saw another fellow floating coming. So he asked that other fellow also, "What kind of trip is this, man? But do they serve lunch on this trip?" That other man said, No, they don't serve lunch. Last time when I came, there was no lunch." Silly fellow. He came last year, got a baseball bat on his head. And again this year came back for another one. It sounds funny, but you know, this is exactly how we come in this samsara. Again and again we come in this samsara, and in so many chapters he describes the samsara as just a string of sorrows. He says it is the very womb of all sorrows. And we take blows from birth till death. People say, "Swamiji, what do you mean blows from birth to death?" Well, I did not get any blows. I'm okay. I mean, why are you so pessimistic? You must be optimistic. Huh? Optimistic, like what? Like the fellow who keeps his car running while his wife is shopping. That is the height of optimism. You must be optimistic. That fellow is so optimistic, and his wife is shopping and the car is running. He's thinking, now she'll come out. That's optimism, no, optimism or not? You have to ask all the husbands. So anyway, the people who say that this is pessimism, it is not true. It is actual fact. This is the way the world is. The world is just a string of sorrow, one after the next. But you know, the human being, let me tell you something. The human being has learned to suffice or make sufficient in the little flashes of joys that he has gotten in the world. He has learned to make them suffice. So we get a little flash of joy, and for that little flash of joy, for a little bit of joy, the human being goes and does anything to get a little bit of joy. He'll sell his soul also to get a little bit of happiness in this world. And all the joys last only a minute, and all the sorrows, they go on forever. You just ask now your own self, see. In your life, there is more joy or more sorrow? That's the first question. Well, my feeling is that from the moment we are born, there is sorrow. And not only my feeling, that's what the scriptures tell also. From the moment we are born, there is sorrow. Otherwise, all of us would have been born laughing. If there was joy in birth, we would have been born laughing. Anybody born laughing? Kabira, jab hum paida hue. Kabira ji said, when I was born, Jag hase hum roye. The whole world laughed and I cried. The whole world laughed. Hey, Munna has come. Barahi and Chatti. Now we'll have. Everybody laughing, Munna has come. So the whole world laughed. And Munna ko kya hua? बेचारा पीड़ा में डूब गया, sunken in pain, और रो इस जग में आया, crying he came in this world. उसके बाद फिर और cry, और रोना, some part paining, belly gripe, headache, hasuli, gastroenteritis. Munna getting one after the next. Arm break, leg break, heart break later on. Heart break. One after the next. Somehow tottering through this samsara with all the problems and all the worries and sorrows and diseases. And diseases do not left from birth till death, they are diseases, right? And 40 वर्ष की उम्र हुई, when 40 years come, फिर बुढ़ापे की, old age starts stepping in. That time, then old age brings all its own debilitations. So we go on tottering to it, and then in last stage also, how much of sorrow, regret, miseries, Worries. Simple thing cause worries. Simple thing. Who to give the money to? Five children are there, This one is good, that one is good, but that other fellow, थोड़ा सा निमखराम था. You think उसको कुछ नहीं देना, बड़ा बदमाश है वो. Then the others, how dare this fellow, how dare he give the others and doesn't give me? What happened to this old man? This old lady? Like that they start saying, isn't it? All of the jhanjat, one after the next. And indecisive at every stage. So I'm describing sansar. You say, Swamiji, no. Okay. You describe all that thing. No, that is true also, but you may be saying it is true. But then in between all that, there was some joy also, Like when Munna came in, one man was telling me, you don't know what joy of holding. If you use Swami, you don't know. What joy of holding that. You hold that, when you see that baby there for the first time, that little creature in your hand, you hold them close to you. Oh, Bapre. When Munna reached 14 years, you come back and tell me the same thing. Then that time you come to Swamiji, talk to Munna now, please. These children gone so wayward. Please talk to them. I don't know. They have no manners. I think if you took the roses, when you hold Munna, that is the rose. Later on, wherever there are roses, there will be thorns. Then what happened? Munna is 19. And he falls in love. Please see the English word. He falls. Nothing can fall, he plunge. He falls in love. Then after a little while, heartbreak. You see Munna, he lying down on the couch. Flat. One leg hanging over the armrest. In one hand a bag of chips. Next hand remote. You ask Munna, what happened? You're not going to Lime today? Munna said, no, I fed up Lime. I fed up Lime. That time is heartbreak. That in Trinidad language called Tobago. But he didn't come and tell you what happened. It just from the actions you could tell something happened. So somehow he managed to get up from the couch again after a little while and pick up the pieces and moved ahead. And Munna gone on at age 25. He come home and made an announcement. I have found my soul mate, my life's partner, somebody who I'm going to settle down with. And you're going to make nice big wedding and bill. You call it decorators and everything you do. Everybody come dance matikoro and carry tray and everything. Then you waiting for the grandchild. After 2-3 years, the grandchild comes and you say, oh, kitna sundar hai. And the same thing that you never allowed Munna, now you give it to the grandchild. Right? Means all the bad habits you never allowed Munna, you give it to the grandchild. And then so many other problems crop up there. Then there's some cracks start to emerge in the marriage. Cracks emerge. First they appear as hairline fractures. And later on as abysmal fissures. And now all the worries come down. Now you living your life. Because old age has stepped in and all the debilitations of old age have come. So you live in that, and now you live in all the heartbreak and pain and miseries of Munna. And grandchild and divorce and this and that, and it keeps going on and on. So you live in multiple lives. And you have to decide to take sides. Which side? Who's at fault, Munna or the wife? And those who are fair, if it was Munna, they'll tell you. And they take side with the wife. Those who are not fair, even if Munna was wrong, they take his side, this side. And now all your abilities and capabilities are now brought into question. Am I able to deal with this thing? And this life goes on and on and on. And you did nothing and you're just walking down the road, some bandits hold you up right there. I'm describing to you sansar, the same sansar which you think is so nice. But the little flash of joy is blinding. The little flash of joy in sansar is blinding. And since it is blinding, you really do not see. That's why na rupam asya iha tatha upalabhyate. We don't really see it for what it is. The little flashes of joy, they are blinding. And so, because it is blinding, we get attached to all the little things. And there's a direct relationship now in this world. Please pay attention to this. Very important. This is the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. There's a direct relationship in this world between sorrow and attachment. What are those two words? Sorrow and attachment. Direct relationship. To the degree that we are attached to this world, to that degree there will be sorrow. And to the degree that we are detached from this world, to that degree there will be freedom from sorrow. Otherwise, we are all ensnared by this direct relationship, attachment and sorrow. So he says, Ashwatthamenam, this world. Ashwatha is this world, this tree. Suvirudhamulam, which has taken firm root, means we have embedded ourselves in this world, or we have entrenched ourselves in this world, and the world has entrenched itself in our heart. Both the meanings come. Suvirudhamulam. This world which is embedded in our heart and into which we have entrenched ourselves. He says, to this world, what we have to do? Asanga shastrena drena chitva. Having cut it asunder with the sword of detachment. He calls detachment. No, this is the most wonderful line of Gita. Detachment is called a sword. With the sword of detachment, cut all ties and attachments, all snares to this world, all bondage to this world. And I keep telling people, say, what bondage? I'm not bound, I'm free. We are bound to disease. So who is free from any of these things I'm going to call? Bound to disease, bound to death, bound to old age, bound to desires, bound to misery, bound to debilitation, bound to weakness, bound to decadence, bound to loss of memory. Anybody who says, I will never forget. You say it and you forget that too. We are bound to so many things in this world. And so, because of this bondage, there is sorrow. I'm bound to old age. Which old age will take me whether I like it or not. And therefore, when you see the grey hairs coming, we don't like. The sorrow comes immediately. One grey hair, little sorrow. Two grey hair, little more sorrow. Three grey hairs? Oh. When you see half the head get green, oh wow, go down to the paint shop. Go down to the paint shop, tell them to mix the right color. You could get streaks if you want also. Different colors. Today's modern world, we have wonderful things going on. Huh? So, we are born. So he says, this world to which we are born, cut it asunder with the sword of detachment. There's only one thing to cut it. That is called the sword of detachment. What a most wonderful line of Bhagavad Gita, very famous line. Asanga shastrena dridhe. And what? The firm sword of detachment. Not any, we can't say, okay, one of these days I will develop detachment. And you develop detachment today, what is that? I have detached myself from sweets. I've detached myself from sweets. And the next day, somebody comes and they tell you, hey, भैया, ये सोन पापड़ी मैंने बनारस से लाया. This sown papri I have brought directly from Banaras. You must try some. Then you say, Banaras? Oh no, forget sown papri. Ye pan. Ye Banaras se laya. Banaras pan? Oh, then immediately you remember our song also. Oh, khai ke pan Banaras wala. खुल जाए बंद अकल का ताला. You remember? And just now you detach from pan, eh? You have taken a resolve to detach from pan. But when you see this Banaras pan, this is an Indian example. What happens in India? You see Banaras pan in Allahabad. In another city you see Banaras pan. And then you remember the song. What happened to your detachment? You detach from detachment also. Yeah. So therefore I said Dridha means when you take, I'll always give this example. A gentleman told me this thing. Yes, on Christmas night I reached home. I'm drunk like a fish. Comes home with his bicycle in the middle of the night from some place. Drunk like a fish. Used to drink and smoke both. He'd gone to some place, friend's place or something. And he stopped his bicycle in front of his gate and tried to open the gate, and he was having such a difficult time. Bicycle, gate, staggering, this, that. He looked at that gate, held the handle, and took a vow. This is a man in a drunken state. Took a vow that night that today, when I enter this gate, this is the last time I'm going to have any cigarette, any drink. That is the end of that. And he walked through that gate, and that was the end of this thing. That is called a dhriratva. This word means that thing. But how we take our resolution? Well, I could try, I'll try to leave this thing, or try to leave that thing, and I'll see how it works for 2 weeks. If I could manage, I'll keep it. I'll keep the resolution. If I can manage, when Bhagavan is talking about Treda Vairagya, Ativa Vairagya, there's a synonym for it. Strong, whatever thing is detached from, drop the world like if you're holding a hot iron pan. When you hold a hot iron pan, a tawa, somebody put a hot tawa in your hand, do you say, okay? This thing is hot. And if I keep it for a little while on my hand, it is red hot. if I keep it for a little while on my hand will get third-degree burns. And I will never see the lines on my hand again. Therefore, the rule is, I should drop it. Anybody thinks like that? No. There is no thinking, isn't it? Shankaracharya says the world should be dropped like that. But instead of detaching from this world and dropping the world, we go on finding more snails, more ropes to tie ourselves to this world. Bhagavad Gita is speaking about strict, deep spirituality. If it is Gita you want to hear, this is what you have to hear. It is speaking about deep spirituality. It is talking about you taking up the path with a vengeance, as it were. Taking up this path with such vehemence. Then,
Tata param tat parimargitavyam Yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyaha Tameva charyam purusham prapadye Yata pravritti prasrata purani Yata pravritti prasrata purani.
Thereafter, tataha means thereafter. Like thereafter what? After developing firm detachment to this world, tataha, thereafter, padam tat parimargitavyam. Tread that path to that reality. Tread the path to enlightenment, to realization, moksha, mukti. Stay on that path. Take up that path and Yasmin Gatan Nadivartantu, which leads to that state from where there is no return. This is the theme of Bhagavad Gita. In Prayojan, Uddeshya of Bhagavad Gita. But what Bhagavad Gita is really meant for, it is meant to throw light on that path that takes us to a state from where there is no return. That is what the line means. There is no returning from. It means this going and coming in this world will come to an end. There will be an end to the cycle of birth and death. No more coming back for any round of blows. One more baseball bat on your head. So not only theme of Gita, theme of the Upanishads, this is the purpose of the Vedas, to bring us on this path and lead us to that state from where there is no return. Otherwise, in 9th chapter, we are told, we go and become Khine punya martya lokam vishanti. Again we come back to this. Well, we may go and enjoy in some other place and all, if we did good action, but again come back to this world. And if we did bad actions, we go and we suffer somewhere, and again come like that. So, get on this path, tread this path to that reality, that supreme reality, having reached where there is no return to this world. Yad gatva nanivartante. Tameva chadyam purusha. And here in this line, the most wonderful line, it tells about how to tread the path. You tread the path by surrender. Surrender to that absolute reality. I take refuge in that absolute reality. I take refuge in God. I take refuge in the Supreme, even the Parama. I take refuge in that absolute reality. I take refuge in that imperishable reality that pervades this universe. Tameva adyam purusham prapadye. Today itself, here, now, I take refuge in God. Yata pravritti prasrita purani. From whom, that ancient being from whom all things have sprung, from where the entire world process originates, from where the entire samsara manifests. I take refuge in that being, in that reality. That is the source and cause and foundation of this whole universe. Pravritti means from whence things got initiated. Everything in this universe sprung from God. Everything in the universe is actually God. So I take refuge in that Lord. But you see, what has happened to the human being is we get enamored by and overwhelmed by not the substance of the universe, but the superimposition on the substance. We get ensnared by that. I'll give you the example. When somebody takes a clump of mud and fashions a beautiful pot out of it, or vase out of the mud, out of the clay, we see the vase and we say, what an exquisite looking vase. Right? So there is where I get caught up by the superimposition on the clay. And really what is there is nothing but clay. I overlook the substance and see the thing which is superimposed on the substance. So that is exactly what has happened with this world. The substance of the world is God. The substance of the world is Satchitananda, pure existence, the reality. So instead of getting taken up with the substance, just like in the case of the vase, I say, what an exquisite looking vase. In the same way, we look at the world and we say, oh, what beautiful thing, what this thing, that thing. And we don't realize that the deeper substance there is Satchidananda. We don't get caught up with that. But so we run after the things in the world. And the world is made up of, the human body is made up of fat and flesh and bones. And we get attached to it. That is because we are attached to the form and not to the substance. The form and not the substance. Because if you go down to the substance is the fat and flesh and bones. And nobody likes fat and flesh and bones. Huh? If you have a bag of fat hanging here, and a bag of bones, and a bag of flesh, and a bag of skin, and teeth, and hair, and nails, and intestines, and bile, and enzymes. And look here, if you're eating and you see one hair in your food, what happens? Huh? Terrible thing, isn't it? One hair. We don't like. But Bhagavan is a master packager. The Lord is a good. He should open a packaging. In fact, he has a packaging company. Here now, look here. If inside of a gift box, inside of a gift box you put some dry grass, but outside you put a nice box and nice gift wrap paper, a nice bow and kind of ribbon and all that. I'll tell you a nice joke. One taxi driver, he got up late one morning. Then he had to take out the garbage. And the garbage had to be taken to a bin down the street in the opposite direction. So he thought, what? I am late this morning. And he has a route to go and he picks up these people in the morning there, to go and put garbage and all that. So what he did? There was a piece of gift paper in his kitchen. He quickly wrapped the garbage in the gift paper and tied it with a ribbon, and he kept it in the back seat of his car. The back seat of the taxi. And sure enough, nicely wrapped gift. One passenger sniped it. Because thing wrapped nicely, isn't it? Nicely sniped. Nicely correct word. Some passenger in his mind, thank you. You saved me a trip to the garbage bin. So anything packaged nice, you see, packaging is a big thing in sales today. Anything packaged nicely In the very same way, Bhagavan takes the same bone and fat and flesh and bone and hair and pus and intestines and bile and enzyme and he packaged them so nicely. And then we get enamored by the form rather than by the substance. We don't train our eyes to look deeper at the substance. And then when we see the other person, other thing in the world, we say, oh, I can't live without you. If you die, I die. If you are not there in my life, I am not complete. One fellow was telling to his wife, you are the dal in my dal puri. You are the dal in my dal puri. Without you, I am sada. That's a fantastic Trinipon on that word, isn't it? Yeah. So anyway. So, the thing is packaged so well and we get so enamored by the form and forever overlooking the substance. And that happens at the ordinary level. Think about how much more this has happened at the cosmic level. That we have taken up with the forms in this universe, name and form, and the substance from which the universe is carved out. That substance is forgotten totally. Until these initial verses here, until here, this is what is being spoken about. How the human being is taken up by this world with its names and forms. That habit of the human being to be attached to names and forms have to be cut down, cut asunder. That is the tree that is being spoken about. It is part of the tree also of the world, because attachment to this world and being overwhelmed by this world is part of the world. That has to be cut asunder. You see? Alright. Then, okay. Somebody will say, Prabhu, you are telling to cut asunder, cut all ties, develop detachment, this, that, tread the path to that reality. Tread the path to that reality from where there is no return. But I tell how now. You tell me, go to Tobago. But see, I don't know first of all what is Tobago, where is Tobago, how to get to Tobago. I don't know anything. So, tell me how to tread this path, how to get to that reality, how to reach there. Bhagavan says, okay, I will tell you, but I'll tell you tomorrow.